with the first and goal. Kuhn gets the ball. Pyle driving his way in for the touchdown. What a great second effort. Here comes the, y'all don't really want it like that. Here comes the, y'all don't really want it like that. I said so, I keep big bills up in my heart on the dirty like blood, so ain't got no twist in my head, but I'm still dreadful.
Wolfpack, what's going on? Week 15, your semifinals, baby. Bringing you the fantasy football tailgate to make sure you get those lineups right, because starts are do or die at this point. You get them wrong and you're done, but you are also one game away from fantasy glory, from those titles. I, of course, am the Wolf. As you can see real quick here, CJ's finishing up his props live in the corner. He's finishing up a couple articles, so he will be joining us live after we rip through the news, but he is in the grind zone right there. Wave to the camera and say hello, CJ.
What's going on, guys?
Hey, so
we had quite the Saturday.
That was awesome. I mean, we probably hit like 200-something questions on just a Saturday out of nowhere.
I know. We were texting earlier. We were like, oh, we'll be on for like 20 minutes, whatever. And then I looked down. It's like 1:50, and there's still 60 questions left.
It was awesome. It was awesome, Wolfpack. You guys really showed up for a random, just like impromptu show. Hopefully you're still back here because there is some news that's going to change a few things we covered yesterday. So I'm going to rip through that fast. I'll go through any news that we covered yesterday as well, just to make sure everybody's on the same page, and then get your questions in. And we'll bring CJ back in once we're done with the news as he gets his props ready to make you guys some serious dough with that. So we'll be back. But yeah, as he was saying, it was an awesome Saturday. Thank you again, Wolfpack, for showing up like that. We had no idea we were going to get that many questions, and it was awesome. And hopefully you had Josh Allen, Stephon Diggs, Aaron Jones in your lineups. Hopefully you weren't facing those guys because they went absolutely berserk for you. But yeah, we will be back with CJ, so I'm going to move him here, and let's get to the news. But Wolfpack, as we're diving in, if you don't mind hitting that thumbs up button, YouTube, Facebook, Periscope, wherever you're watching, it helps us get out to more people. And it makes us feel so nice to see that thumbs up button. But thank you guys. We greatly appreciate it. And of course, rotostreetjournal.com/support2020 is a way to give us a testimonial or a tip. If we've helped you out at all throughout the season, it would be so greatly appreciated if you might be willing to do something of that nature. So figured we toss those out there. Now let's get into the quick news that we got to hit. The big changes from yesterday. Matt Stafford is expected to play this week, which is new. We did not expect that coming. And now everything rises in that game. Detroit-wise, obviously, if you don't have Chase Daniel thrown to, so Marvin Jones becomes right back into that radar of startability. DeAndre Swift gets a nice boost up. He jumped about 5 spots in my running back rankings because his touchdown upside does become a lot higher. And then you got, obviously, on the other side, if it's more competitive, A.J. Brown, Corey Davis, maybe even Jonnu Smith, get a little bit of an uptick. Obviously, Henry is going to do what he's going to do regardless of who's there on the other side. But they might have taken the air out of the ball a little early if this game didn't stay competitive. So Tannehill as well gets a little bit of a bump up. And everybody has risen. It is definitely great news for us fantasy fans that Stafford will be in today. So that was one of the big changes from yesterday. The other only big change, and we'll rip through the other news we covered yesterday, is Damien Harris is out. So Sony Michel will be the lead big back. Does it have a touchdown upside to it? Sure. Maybe he'll plot in for one. But Cam Newton's kind of already the goal line back. He does nothing in the receiving game. Miami is a tough matchup too. You got to be looking elsewhere. Again, desperation times. Hopefully you're not that desperate if you're in your semis right now. Maybe he's top 35 running back for me, but there hopefully is somebody else out there. If you're debating Sony Michel, let us know. James White does get a little bit of an uptick too because a less mouths to feed never hurts a running back. But still, I'm avoiding this backfield. I was avoiding it anyways with Harris, who's the best back there. Healthy, I'm still avoiding it with him not there. But let us know if you have questions on that. Drew Brees will be in today, which obviously has huge implications. Alvin Kamara doubles his fantasy points, doubles his usage, and especially in games with no MT and Drew Brees. He's averaging nearly 30 points a game in those contests. Becomes a smash at 7,400 on DraftKings. Will be the chalkiest play of the day, but it's tough to have a lineup without him in it, as well as Derrick Henry too. So I think a lot of similar lineups are going to be out there. So if you want to differentiate, like Miles Sanders, things of that nature, but this also will help out, Emmanuel Sanders because Michael Thomas is going to be out. He averages almost 10 targets per game. Without him, we've seen some monster performances from Sanders, and they're going to need points. This is the highest over-under of the slate today, 52. And I expect a shootout there in the Superdome. They're at home, so I do like Cook. Obviously Kamara is an easy one, but Emmanuel Sanders as well as a potential streamer has shot into my top 35 receivers and was out there in a lot of leagues. He's still available in over half of leagues. So if you need wide receiver or flex help, check for Sanders. And even Traquan Smith gets a little bit of a bump up. I actually never even checked what he was on DraftKings. I'm sure it's not too expensive, and everybody will be pivoting to Sanders. Traquan could be a little bit of a contrarian play there. Another stud receiver out is Julio Jones with his hamstring injury. So obviously Ridley, a little bit of an uptick in targets. You're already starting him. He's already a stud. Hayden Hurst, you'd think would pick up some slack, but he also hasn't scored more than, I think, 6 points in 3 straight weeks. He's useless. Bag of garbage. You do not want Hayden Hurst in your lineups. And Matt Ryan at this point, you do not want to start without Julio Jones. We've talked about it frequently on the show. He had an okay week last week, but typically he's been under the quarterback 25 in all of his starts without Julio Jones before last week. And last week wasn't even that great. So I'm not into Matt Ryan. You'd have to be pretty desperate to have him out there. Hopefully you get a guy like Jalen Hurts or somebody to back him up. Zeke Elliott is expected to play. He was questionable. He did not practice all week, but still going to be gutting it out. I don't know exactly why the team is risking their stud investment. Not that he's looked all that great as we wind down the stretch here, but he'll be out there. He shouldn't be in your lineups. Whether he's out there or not, I have him at running back 28, 7 spots below the ECR. He's been above the running back 31 time in his last 8 games. Like, he's been atrocious. Hasn't even hit double digits in all those. So maybe does he fall in the end zone? There's always that chance. I don't want to start Zeke today. I'd go for a guy like Jeff Wilson or, one of those type of streamers over him. Leonard Fournette today. J.D. McKissick, Gus Edwards even. Like, he's probably out there. You're not starting Zeke. I could not trust him in my semifinals today. And if you do, best of luck. I would not want that at all. Raheem Mostert will also play. So as I just mentioned, Jeff Wilson, a little scarier now when you get Mostert on there. Wilson has outcarried him 30 of the last 39 backfield carries. So it is ultimately shifting towards a Jeff Wilson backfield. He's playing the goal line snaps, the receiving downs. Mostert's a bit of a risk, but he is also facing Dallas, who gives up huge chunk plays. And Mostert's the chunk play king. You never know what Shanahan's going to do. As soon as you think it's Wilson, Mostert will get 25 carries today and rip off 150 yards. It's a tough one to figure out. I have Wilson 23 and Mostert 24, balancing it out. I think Wilson has a little bit of a higher floor because of that touchdown upside, but Mostert has a little bit more of the ceiling play. If you own both guys, you're like, I don't know which one to go. Well, they're neck and neck for me. I wish I could offer you a little more clarity there. Wilson does seem like the safer play, in my opinion. A 49er who won't be back is George Kittle. Maybe next week, if they win, they stay competitive. He has practiced this week. He is off the IR, so you might get him back next week, but they also will not play him with no incentive to do so if they're knocked out. So Brandon Ayuk locked into a huge target share. I imagine he's going to be featured on CJ's prop bets. When we pull him back on, we'll check out what are some guys he's targeting today, because I know a lot of you guys on IG and Facebook check those out. We've hopefully made you some money. I know our record's pretty damn good on those so far. So Ayuk is a guy I'm snashing in. I recommended him over a lot of Mike Davis versus Ayuk questions yesterday. I was pumped to be higher on Ayuk than Keenan Allen. We got a lot of questions on Thursday. Unfortunately, I did tell a lot of you guys to start Keenan Allen over XYZ and Rashard Higgins or things like that. My fault. I should have overestimated that news we had on him, but we did not. So be it. But Brandon Ayuk is a guy that's going to smash today. Alex Smith will not be playing today, which means Terry McLaurin gets a little bit of a bump up. I think he's now up to my wide receiver 17, which is still slightly lower than the ECR. He's been pretty shitty, to be honest, these last few weeks. That was with Smith at quarterback, more conservative. We saw Dwayne Haskins just pepper McLaurin time and time again earlier in the year, and now he gets the easiest matchup for wide receivers. But the last few weeks, it has not quite been that case. Jamal Adams has really helped turn that secondary around. I could see this team getting completely swallowed up. So I like McLaurin more, but I'm not saying he's a must start. Let us know if you have Terry McLaurin questions. I wonder who I would go between these two. Maybe we can get CJ's insight when he's back on. But Marquis Brown, versus McLaurin, I'd probably go Terry. But Marquis Brown's going to catch a long bomb touchdown against the Jags. He's caught a touchdown in now 3 straight. Brings tons of upside. Now he's activated. Lamar Jackson was my number 1 quarterback, regardless of who he's throwing to. And now that he gets all his weapons back, is that much better. So Marquise Brown just could be definitely jammed into your lineups this week. He's 5,600, I believe, on DraftKings, so not a bad play either. A little expensive, but could have a just ridiculous day if you want to stack him. I'd prefer an Andrews Lamar stack, but I love them both. They all could do pretty decent today. Last few notes are that Evan Ingram's considered questionable. He is now expected to play, was the latest from Ian Rappaport, but he's going to be playing with Colt McCoy. Daniel Jones is going to be out. Last time Evan Ingram had Colt McCoy at quarterback, he had 32 yards. Useless. Colt McCoy threw for, I think, 105 total. Awful. Do they face the Browns? Yes. Terrible secondary? Of course. Denzel Ward out. Second most points in tight ends? Yes. Evan Ingram was my number 7 tight end before this news of Colt McCoy. Now it's like, I dropped him down to tight end 13. I'd rather have an Irv Smith, for example. A Cole Kmet, maybe. Right in that range for me, but definitely Irv Smith because Kyle Rudolph is out. He's been the tight end 3 Irv Smith in back 2 of his last 3 weeks. Definitely brings some nice upside because the Bears are giving up the 3rd to 4th, depending on your scoring settings, points to tight ends, whereas they're pretty stingy against receivers. Now, both Thielen and Jefferson had big days against the Bears last time, 8 for 135 for Jefferson, 2 touchdowns for Thielen. So I think both those guys are obviously still in play. It might make this Irv Smith prediction useless, but still, I like him at 11. Tight end 11, definitely higher than the ECR on him. And he's still out there in 20% of leagues if you're desperate for a tight end and 3,600 on DraftKings. Jimmy Graham is going to play, which would have made Cole Kmet a lot more appealing if he wasn't. It is still Cole Kmet over Jimmy Graham at this point. He saw 7 targets to 2 for Jimmy Graham last week. The only problem is Jimmy Graham's target came in the red zone and he scored a touchdown on it, and that's where he is at his best. So Jimmy Graham, the touchdown ceiling just gets a little bit lower for Kmet, who is a big body, who can certainly use his big body well in the red zone. But Jimmy Graham now there too makes him a little bit of a riskier start if you were leaning that way. Brandon Cooks is going to be in today, so that helps Deshaun Watson, helps everybody with a field stretcher like him. And he's probably in lineups. Top 30 receiver, the number 1 guy for one of the better quarterbacks in the league. Brings a huge element, a hugely important element for everybody else in this offense too. So I think he's in play this week. Not a must play. Him versus Manny Sanders, it's a close call in my opinion. But Cooks would probably be my lineups today. If I have him, you got Devontae Freeman potentially returning. So it's does that impact Gallman? Hopefully not. But it could. They seem insistent on giving Alfred Morris carries. So Gallman loses a little bit of his shine here. And James Conner is going to play on Monday. Do you really want James Conner? Do you want to wait that out? Not for me. He's a bottom RB2 at best for me. And now the last few things we are tracking here are the Miami pass catchers. They're all questionable. So is Salvin Ahmed. It seemed earlier today they said that they're hopeful Parker plays and they're not expecting Jakeem Grant to play. So and they also said Mike Gesicki has a real shot to play. I don't think there's been any final word yet. We'll soon get that because it is getting to that time where teams submit their actives and inactives. I believe they play at 1. We'll check on that too. But that's one of the last dominoes to fall because Lynne Bowden in particular would be an intriguing streamer at running back given if there was no other targets around him. Last time that was the case, which was last week, he had 7 catches, 82 yards, a solid PPR day for desperate running back streamers because he has both eligibility given his positional, the fact that he's so versatile. He played quarterback, he's played running back. He's a nice freak athlete. I'd love to see him stay involved here, but he does lose a bit of his streaming appeal if 2 or more of these guys are in the lineup today. And the last note is we're gonna have Kendricks, Jimmy Smith, and Darius Slay all out for defensive injuries. It's not like Darius Slay was playing that great a ball, but it's just another name out in addition to Maddox for the Eagles. They're down their 4th and 5th stringers on defense here. And DeAndre Hopkins and Kyler Murray coming to town. That could be a nice DK stack that, everybody's jamming in Henry, Kamara, Taylor, and I am too. I'm not avoiding that on DraftKings, but Hopkins might go a little under-owned at 7,900, and he could go completely berserk for a 35-point Hopkins day-to-day. Should definitely be in lineups. I have him at wide receiver 5, and honestly, I want to kind of move him above DK here. And change that up and get him up to wide receiver 3. So if you have Hopkins, he's going to smash today. So good job having him. And I believe that is all the news. Again, we'll check in on those guys for the Dolphins. Wolfpack, we're going to bring CJ back to get to some of these sit starts. We got 40 of them so far. Just a reminder, too, if you give that thumbs up, help us get out to more people, whether it's on YouTube, Periscope, Facebook, retweets, shares, all that stuff helps us so much. the algorithms and all that, see the reactions, see you guys commenting, and it helps us help more Wolves and helps grow us pack. So that would be so appreciated. And if we continue to do a good job for you, if you want to check out rotostreetjournal.com/support2020, it would mean the world if you're willing to submit a testimonial, whether written, audio, video. We've gotten great submissions already so far, and it's so appreciated. It's just awesome for us to read, but we're also going to be using those in a pitch deck later this offseason to help us get to that next level, Wolfpack. It'd be so appreciated. So thank you. Let's see where the CJ is at. How's everything going over there, CJ? You need a little more time, or
a little bit? But I did see everyone's out for the Dolphins.
They're all out.
So I just saw Mike Clay just tweeted Dolphins pass catchers today: Lynne Bowden, Malcolm Perry, Matt Collins, Antonio Callaway, Isaiah Ford, Durham Smith.
Wow. Yeah, down to everybody. That is just atrocious.
Yeah, so it's going to be the Lynne Bowden show in Miami.
So now we have some news on that, so I can adjust the rankings here. Let me just quickly take out. So as CJ was just saying, all your Dolphins pass catchers are going to be out that they were listed as questionable or potential to play. So Mike Gesicki, let me take him out of the rankings. I'm not streaming Adam Shaheen as direct backup for any reason here. And then we'll go to wide receiver. I got to take out Devontae Parker and Lynne Bowden, who
Jakeem Grant's out.
Yeah. Let me just see. I had Grant already out of the rankings. Parker, thank you for that news. So Lynne Bowden, as I'm getting back to my running backs, I don't have him as a receiver on my rankings tool for Fantasy Pros for whatever reason. He'd be probably a top 36 receiver for me, though, this week with that volume. He's only 3,600 on DraftKings as well, so an interesting play there with all these guys out. I'd like to check my lineups actually at some point, so I might have to sign off just a little early.
With my mess, would you go him over AB in my 2-point PPR league?
He's going to probably catch a shitload of balls.
He's gonna get who? JC Jackson in the slot?
Yeah, who's been playing decent all year, but you should get some decent catches there. I'd probably still lean AB. I'm putting him at running back 32. Let me just see here. Above Todd Gurley, if that gives anybody perspective. Above Devin Singletary, who he's locked in my rankings now, had that ridiculous 50-yard touchdown to end yesterday. Somebody won $1 million. The guy who won the millionaire had Devin Singletary, and that differentiated him from the field.
Oh, no.
Crazy. On that one last play. That's how DraftKings fucking goes. It's wild. So Lynne Bowden up to my running back 32 if you're desperate for a streamer. Right around Nyheim Hines area for me. Is where he lands. Bowden or Zeke, I don't know.
It's going to be so annoying when the Patriots win this game. They just keep boosting their fucking up their draft stock over these useless wins.
Exactly. Yep, that seems about right. That's the Patriot way right there. Alrighty. So that is the breaking news. Is all your Dolphins pass catchers are out outside Lynne Bowden. 3,600 on DraftKings again. A great play at that price. Somebody I have Mecole Hardman in right now for my cheap flyer. I might be looking to switch that out for a guy like Bowden who could catch 8 to 10 balls against the Pats today. Alrighty, folks. I have updated the rankings, so now it is all up to you guys. All your questions are going to drive the content here. Is somebody in the comments said Elliott might be out? Is that right?
Let me see. I haven't seen that one.
Mike Clay just said that in our comments here. So I'm going to get to your questions, but I guess
I'll look at that one. One second.
Could be out here. So folks, what's that?
Probably going to be in every single last one.
Yeah, exactly. So if Tony Pollard, wow. So I got to back to the adjustments. And again, Real Peg, I appreciate your patience here, but check if Tony Pollard's available. You should check if Tony Pollard's available. Yeah, Tony Pollard could be very intriguing.
Zeke's out.
Wow, Zeke Elliott is out. So adjusting the rankings.
I need to get this. He's going over AB in my flex.
So I think Tony Pollard immediately becomes a viable flex play. I know we're down on Zeke, so it's if you're down on Zeke, why would you like Tony Pollard? Well, Tony Pollard was getting about 30 to 40% of the snaps. Is going to be a workhorse role for Tony Pollard at this point. He jumps up to my running back, I want to say 23, 24. Clyde Edwards-Helaire versus Pollard is what I'm kind of debating here as I'm setting my rankings. But folks, Tony Pollard is going to be the starting running back. Definitely can catch the ball. He's looked more explosive than Zeke throughout this year. And this is clearly, one of his, whenever we see these guys get their shot, right, the opportunity to step up, oftentimes we see them rise to the occasion. Can you check, CJ, what his price is on DraftKings when you get a moment too?
Yeah.
Because I'm guessing it's around, 4,000 is probably close to the bare minimum.
I've been the most erratic fantasy player in the last 4 days. I've probably dropped and added and changed my flex 25 times.
Yeah.
Completely.
Pollard is very intriguing for the flex. I probably have him right around the Mostert, Jeff Wilson range, maybe a little bit ahead of those guys because he's the clearer horse. So that's where I'm leaning. Raheem Mostert, Tony Pollard, like right in that range, RB23. So we'll see how he does. It's going to be intriguing to see what he does. Thank you, Wolfpack, for commenting that in, bringing that to our attention.
Yeah, seriously.
That is a big news. As of this morning, he was expected, Zeke, to play, according to Rappaport. So that is a big change in the rankings, in your lineups. Now, let me just click publish. So I have my rank.
Pollard is 5,200. So, I mean, he's not as cheap as you'd think he would be, but I feel like that was kind of known in Vegas, I guess.
One other note, CJ, as I'm publishing my rankings that popped up here, is Mark Ingram's out, which is not like Ingram, you weren't starting anyways at this point, but now we were already raving about J.K. Dobbins on the show yesterday. He's that much sexier. No Mark Ingram, it looks like. I don't know if he's injured, a healthy scratch, what that is, but it's just.
I feel like it's a healthy scratch at this point. They want to be nice to him because he's like one of their team leaders and captains and whatever. But
good trust, yeah, exactly. But not today. So Dobbins, another boost for him. Like I got some intriguing questions, like Chris Carson or J.K. Dobbins, and I lean Carson for the safety, but Dobbins, there's very few running backs with that type of upside today, and Gus Edwards that much more streamable now. With him out. Just to lock in that kind of third back role. So I like Gus a bit more, up to my running back 26. Tony Pollard again, running back 23, with news that Zeke is out, and then more love for J.K. Dobbins. So guys, if you have any questions about any of those guys now, again, that could change up what you're looking at for your lineup. If Tony Pollard was available, he was out there in a ton of leagues. J.K. Dobbins now that much more appealing. So let us know what your questions are involved on these guys. I think I am now published with these ranking updates. Let me generate the new code, and let's get to your questions. You guys have been patient. We got 20 minutes of the news. Let's get to your stuff. What is going on, David Campanile? CJ, you good to read the questions, or do you want to?
I'm finishing up my props here now. I want to just rip it for a few minutes.
Yeah, I'll rip them. Let me know when your props are ready. We'll put them on the show for a second so everyone can see them, and we'll keep ripping here. Miami or Cleveland D for Mike Clay. You know, Mike, I hate defensive questions. I'm going to lean Cleveland here with Colt McCoy at the helm, though. I do love the Dolphins matchup, but now that we have Colt McCoy, actually, that's another one I have to adjust for my defensive rankings. I do like Cleveland D tonight. I don't think the Giants, they could get completely shut out Sunday Night Football. Decent bet for a turnover, maybe even a pick six, something of that nature. But Miami D has been so good, and the Pats are coming in without your top running back. So it's not like a lock here. It's my 4 and 5 defense either way. I kind of like what Miami's been doing, and they're at home too. So I'm going to lean Miami here, but it's not if you want to go Cleveland, again, I don't have any like strong leaning to either team there. So Cleveland gets a little bit of a bump up in the defensive rankings here. D. We got to publish my D changes. Get widget code. Alrighty. Full PPR for David Campanile. Pick 2, Miles Sanders, Robinson, Edmonds, Hunt, Dobbins, or Zeke. I'm going to go Sanders and Robinson. There's no Zeke today. He wouldn't have been the answer anyways. I prefer Sanders and Robinson. Dobbins is right there, though. If you want to go, Dobbins over Robinson, I could see that, and I wouldn't be mad about it. I personally rank Sanders and Robinson. I'm a big believer in what Hurts did for this offense with the read option and what that did for Sanders, and the fact that he played over 80% of the snaps. I love to see all that. Full PPR, wide receiver, pick 1. A.J. Brown or Lockett, already played Diggs. That's awesome. Congrats on the Diggs play, David. And full PPR, too. I mean, what do you got, like 30 points? Insane. Awesome. I go A.J. Brown over Lockett. I think both are kind of the boom, boom, decent floors, but huge ceilings. I like Brown's ceiling against Detroit quite a bit more. So I'm going to go A.J. Brown there. Today was an epic day of RSJ, made my Saturday. Love to hear it, David. It was a great day.
That was a funny day. I kind of enjoyed it.
It was nice too because we could kind of take our time. Like we're not rushing into a kickoff. We could really dig into each question and like make some more predictions and go back and forth a little bit more. I like Saturday shows. That was a good time. We're on more of a crunch on these Sundays to get you guys all your info before 1 p.m. But it was kind of nice. We went up ripping to like 2 o'clock almost. It was great. I'm glad it made your Saturday. It made ours too, David. It was great to see you. With Freddie Kitchens as OC and Colt McCoy at QB. Yeah, hideous.
There was nothing funnier than I commented during your Nat show on Wednesday or Thursday, and someone was like, "Hey, the tight ends coach is gonna just like feed Ingram," and I was like, "Well, the tight ends coach is Freddie Kitchens."
It's Freddie Kitchens, right? Exactly. That's all you need to know. Nobody's getting fed. Everybody sucks. Freddie Kitchens is the OC. I mean, I love the play, Mike. I think Cleveland is in a great spot to have a good defensive effort for sure. Happy Sunday, Mr. Geckel. Lockett or AB, also Hurts or Tannehill. That's a good one. I'm trying to figure out still what to do with Gallman. I know it has nothing to do with this question, but like the more and more like he was just talking about the Giants getting completely snuffed out. It's like, is Gallman just going to completely disappear? There's a risk of that today. But Gecko, back to you. I'm going to go Lockett. I know it's risky. I know Washington has a good defense, but once you sit him, you know that 50-point day is coming. And I think this could be it. Washington secondary, yeah, they're technically on paper are limiting receivers to the second, fourth, whatever it is, fewest points. One of the tougher matchups. I don't buy it though. Who do they have? Like, what are they actually that good at? I'm not that worried about Russ, about Lockett. Like a lot of questions, like, am I benching my Seahawks? I don't think so. I'm not into that. I keep riding the guys that got me there, even if Lockett's been a little bit of a bust lately. And then I go Tannehill over Hurts. I like Hurts a lot. I'm at QB9 +7 on the ECR. Love him. But Tannehill's going to smash. And I like that we have Stafford back to keep that game competitive. So give me Lockett, give me Tannehill here. AB is in a good spot, but just has been so underwhelming. Against Atlanta, is that a great coming out party potential? Sure. But I don't know. I'm leaning Lockett. I'm leaning Tannehill there. Jeff Wilson, Akers, McKissick, pick 2. Definitely Akers. There's no question about that one, Ben. And then I think I'm leaning Wilson over McKissick. We didn't see a ton of checkdowns over from Haskins. And again, the game plan's a little different. I don't know if that's a Haskins thing or if the play calling changed with Alex Smith. But either way, and we've seen Smith be a checkdown warrior throughout his career. I think it's Akers and Wilson. Big upside. The PPR upside is higher with McKissick because he can catch a bunch of balls. But I like the touchdown upside of Wilson. So give me Akers, give me Wilson there. Pat Sullivan, what's going on? Great to see you as always. You're down 60. Oh boy, not good. You must have faced a couple beasts, and so you're gonna need some upside. Thielen, Swift, Edwards, or Cutie. I got to go Thielen and just hope he had a 2-touchdown day against the Bears last time. Maybe he could do it again. The only other one I'd consider for a big upside play would be Swift because he's just so good. And now that Stafford's back, his upside's going to be even higher. Tennessee's also a nice matchup for him. So he's got some real upside too if you wanted to go Swift. Those are the two I've limited it down to. I prefer Thielen, but it's close. I mean, because the Bears matchup is not great on paper. It could be an ugly game where he just has a crap week like last week. So if you wanted to go to Swift, I could totally understand it. I think I go Thielen, though. Asked this yesterday, but missed the answer. Watson, Goff, or Hurts? DJ, Eileen Hurts. Now, I do like Watson getting Cooks back. He's probably the safest play of these guys. But I'm all in on Hurts this week. I really think he could go off. Watson, though, does have a similar ceiling and probably a safer floor because he's done it all year. But give me Hurts personally. Cutie or Corey Davis, PPR. I'm going to lean Corey Davis. Again, all those ships rising, Ben, with Stafford being back, making that game a bit more competitive. So give me Corey Davis there. And Wolfpack, again, if you don't mind hitting that thumbs up, regardless of where you're at, helps us get out to more people, answer more questions, and is so greatly appreciated. Breeze, Goff, Dylan Viagra, Stafford, or Hurts over Russ? Nah, sticking to Russ. 4-point pass CDs. You need upsides. You got pummeled by Waller and Allen. That sucks. Not the ideal start to your week, Dylan. I'm still going to go Russ. Like, who has more upside than Russ? At the end of the day, he's had a bunch of 30-point days. I do see that game looking ugly. If you're just like your gut saying you need somebody else, I personally will go Russ. But if you're like, I need somebody else, I don't trust him. Of these guys, I would probably go Hurts for the upside. You get 100 yards rushing. You could throw for 2 to 3. You know the Cardinals are going to put their points with no secondary there. So I think Hurts does have a great ceiling today, as is Breeze in that shootout game. But all of them have good ceilings. Hurts would be the only other guy I'd consider, or Breeze. I'm still going Russ personally myself.
All right, I'm ready.
You ready? All righty, let's do it. Let's pull them up. Are they on Instagram? Should I pull them up?
Yeah, they're on Instagram.
All righty, let's quickly look at CJ's props of the day. For those of you addicted to the betting game here, our guy CJ will have some great props for you.
Not as many as usual Sunday. Tried to consolidate them a little bit.
Yeah, just going for his favorite picks rather than loading it up for you guys. It looks like one per position. Oh, you ended up pivoting over to Tony Pollard, huh? Let's see.
And Vegas pivoted very quickly. It's plus 115 for a touchdown. I thought it'd be like plus 400. I was going to try to get it in quick.
Trying to sneak in, yeah. Vegas is too fast.
They are too fast.
All right, hold on. Let me share my screen here. Share screen. Chrome tab, Instagram, bam. All righty. So here's our favorite prop bets of the week, and then we'll get back to you, Connor Leahy. You want to hit these, CJ?
Yeah, so as I said, we have Tony Pollard to score a touchdown plus 115. Thought we could sneak it in before Vegas adjusted. Didn't get that quick. So. Yeah. And then our guy Ayuk over 5.5 receptions. His receiving total was like 75, which I mean I still like, but not as much as the receptions. Just pepper him with a few little short passes, and that's fine with me. Yeah. Sanders over 61.5 rush yards. He's great with Jalen Hurts. Probably I would say over 100. Would you say?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I think he's definitely going to – he had it under last week against the Saints, the best run D in the league. I hadn't allowed over 100-yard rusher for 55 straight games. I love all of these. I think Ayuk is definitely going to have 6 catches.
Yeah, but then Kamara averages about 8 receptions with Breeze. That I feel like he's going to get peppered, especially with the rib injury, too. He's going to get the ball away quick. He's just going to pepper Kamara today.
And they're giving up the Chiefs the 8th most rushing yards and 8th most receiving yards to running backs. So a good spot for Kamara with no other weapons. It seems like a high total, 6.5 for a running back, but you got to think of obviously this guy is a different beast. So awesome. Those are our prop bets to hammer today. So check those out, Wolfpack, and let us know if you're hitting any. We left off. Where did Mr. Leahy go here? Cook over Logan Thomas. I do go Jared Cook. Breeze in, no Mike Thomas. It's close for me. I think it's like tight end 11 and tight end 13, but I do feel really, really good about Jared Cook. A tougher one would be Irv Smith or Jared Cook, but I still think I'm leaning Jared Cook there. All righty.
All right. Ben Thompson, Hurts or Watson, 4-point QB league.
This was the same idea as DJ Johnson just asking too. I lean Hurts. Watson's definitely safer. If you're in a good spot, I'm probably going to go Watson. And all honesty, like Watson does have the ceiling too. If this Colts game shoots out. The more and more I think about it, I think I might be. I ranked Watson earlier in the week, thinking Cooks was going to be out, and I'm looking at my rankings. I'm like, I feel like I'm a little too low on the guy. I'd have a hard time pulling that trigger if I had Watson and Hurts. I have Hurts higher in my ranking. I do think he might outscore him.
It's Watson.
It's yeah. The more I think about it, yeah, it's getting me scared. I personally go Hurts, but Watson is definitely the safer play if you're feeling him. But I go Hurts. I do. I think Hurts is going to have a killer effort today.
Yo, soy Tony. Sanders or Dobbins, PPR Superflex. Hurts is my QB2.
I love Sanders. I do. And I think Hurts only helps Sanders. I think that's a good stack to have. I love Dobbins, especially with Ingram out too. They're both fantastic plays today. But Miles Sanders, I think that was just a preview last week. I think it's going to keep rolling that way.
Pat Sullivan, pick a kicker. I don't think we've ever had a kicker question. Lutz or Blankenship?
I've been rolling Lutz all year, and he's been kind to me. I think it helps with Breeze in there. But Rodrigo does get a good matchup against the Texans too. I don't know. These are two of the top kickers. Kickers, similar to defense. It's like fucking roll. It's impossible to put on somebody else to make that call for you. You got to just kind of trust the gut. I'm going to go Lutz. Actually, I'm going to switch it. I'm going to go blanket.
Go with the goggles.
The goggles, baby. Yeah, absolutely.
First, there's some dudes to start the week off. Got 12 from Bass and 26 from Diggs. Opponent Rodgers and Mike Davis. So far, so good. He left a testimony with no idea if it ever went through. I don't know what I did.
Awesome. We will find it, Austin. We can talk to you. If we can't find it, we'll see where you left it. But that's so appreciated. And anybody else willing to leave us a testimonial, right down there at the bottom banner, rotostreetjournal.com/support 2020. So appreciated.
And also hit the tip jar if you want. Connor Leahy, Crowder, Pittman, or Coty. I don't know what the scoring is, but
I'm leaning Cutie. He's crushed the Colts throughout his career. And it does. I think Watson's going to have to put up some points today. I'm starting to have a little turnaround on Watson with all his weapons. I mean, not all his weapons, but no Will Fuller, of course, the biggest absence. I think that game has, I bet you that's probably one of the higher over-unders of the day. So I'm bumping Watson up over Hurts for that question we got earlier. I'm the more and more I think about it, I would not personally put in Hurts over Watson if I had that decision. So I'm not going to have my rankings say that. I can't have my rankings reflect something I wouldn't do. So I bumped Watson up over Jalen Hurts, who's now my QB 10, still high on him, but just giving you that note. And I like Cutie. That's part of the reason. I think Cutie's the play there.
Steven Hernandez, Carson, Hunter, Mostert. Good morning. Winner go home.
Winner go home indeed, Steven. I love Carson here. The Washington front is very ferocious. I still think Seahawks a rushing touchdown in every single game but one by their lead running back. It's just the highest of floors with Carson. You're going to get 60 to 70 total yards, a couple of catches, and a touchdown. Is the ceiling crazy? Not really, but he could always plow in too. So I like Chris Carson there.
Hey, Jaguar, High Wolf, full PPR flex, CEH or Gus Edwards. She's in a pretty tight battle.
Man, tough call here. I know you had Josh Allen go off for you yesterday, Keen, but then Adams kind of fucking sucked last night. Of all the times for Devontae Adams to not show up, fucking sucks. I don't know. I think I'm leaning CEH. I just think that game is going to have a lot of points. I know he might be a forgotten piece of that game. Saints have a great run D, but to me, he could get a bunch of dink and dunks depending on how that defense decides to play against the Chiefs. I kind of like CEH, even though I think Gus Edwards is going to score, and we have no Mark Ingram now, which makes him even a little bit sexier. Oh, this is tough. Where are you leaning after our disaster of a year with CEH? Are we putting him on the bench for Edwards?
No, that's a little too much. CH is still the starter. He's still going to get the most snaps. Gus Edwards is going to get maybe 40% of the snaps. I would go CH there.
And Hilaire did, even if he didn't have a great game last week, he played the highest, 74% of the snaps, the highest of his career so far. He could end up having that Taylor breakout out of nowhere.
And even though you are obviously down him because all of us drafted him in the top 5, psychopaths. But before that weird stomach ailment that he had where he just sat on the sideline and was an asshole. But before that, he actually wasn't that bad.
A nice 10, 11.
Well, they suck because they'll run triple reverse passes to Tyreek Hill.
Travis Kelce, right.
It's worse than it actually. I feel like it looks worse than it actually is. I don't think it's that terrible of an option.
Exactly. We've drawn a shocked face too for our Hilaire take. So the shocking developments here at the Roto Street Journal Fantasy Tailgate, baby.
Andres Perez, Wilson or Tannehill?
Man, this is my QB 6 and 7, Andres. I think I'm sticking it out with Russ. I don't know. We've gotten a bunch about Russell Wilson, CJ. So there's a lot of nerves around him, clearly. And I get it. Washington has a good defense, and they're just playing better and better by the week. I don't think I'm benching them.
They're a top 5 defense in the league.
Yeah, they're legit. They're very legit. Tannehill? I don't know.
Oh, you just cut out.
You're frozen.
Yeah. You good?
Yeah. I'm back. You're back. All right, we're both back.
Yeah,
Sorry about that.
You cut during that tangent after I said the top 5 defense thing.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, what? I get it's a great defense, but are we gonna bench him? He's been such a stud for most of this year. For Tannehill, Tannehill did get a little bit of a stock up with with Matthew Stafford on the other side, keeping it a little more competitive. I think I'm still going Russ. What are your thoughts on Russ this week, CJ?
You can't bench basically the quarterback almost MVP in fantasy. You just
right.
can't at this point. You just can't do it. Obviously I'm not super high on him right now, but it's good for the locker room. It's good for everyone involved. Just go Russ. You have to stick with your guy.
Exactly. I just hope Haskins does keep it at least mildly competitive.
All right. Haskins will keep it competitive. Don't worry about it.
Yeah. We've seen Washington. I'd honestly rather have Haskins on the other side than Alex Smith, where it becomes a conservative clock control. Like, I could see that game, as scary as it is. What if it takes off and like Haskins is chucking it? I couldn't bench Russ. Not in my finals at this point. He's got me there. I'm sticking it out with him.
Giuseppe, let's get a Wolfpack Happy Sunday. Wolf, Gage, Crowder, Myers, Bowden, or Gurley?
Whew. A lot of weird options here, but I'm going to go Gage, Giuseppe. Gage, and then Bowden would be my next. But I like Gage, the Julio fill, and he's had a couple nice weeks in a row here. It seems like he's finding his footing.
Giuseppe, Washington D or Tennessee D, even though you love picking defenses.
I hate fucking defensive questions. Tennessee D was a nice streamer until we found out Stafford was playing, and now it's like a crap defense against a pretty decent offense. I don't love Washington facing Seattle, though, for all the reasons we talked about. Like, I don't know. Like, I kind of like the Cowboys a little bit more than any of these teams if they're potentially out there for you. Seahawks I've seen out there in a lot of leagues I like as a streamer. Maybe the Browns are somehow still lingering, but if I had to go one of these two, I probably would go Washington just to go with the side of the talent and hope like Russell turns it over one time. But yeah, I'm not into the Titans anymore with Stafford. Stafford could get knocked out early too, which would just make Titans all of a sudden a great defense again. But I can't trust that.
Giuseppe, pick 2 receiver in a flex. Landry, David Johnson, Pittman, or Myers. Full PPR.
Got to have 2 here. Whew. Landry's the lock. I go David Johnson over those other guys. No Duke Johnson today. Should have the full workload. A fine bet for a touchdown in a game that should put up some points. So Landry and David Johnson for me.
Morales, Mullins, or Matt Ryan?
Ooh, that's pretty ugly. I don't think I can start Mullins. I don't think I can start Mullins. I'm going to go Matt Ryan and just hope his weapons are around him, even without Julio, are good enough. We got Brad Emsarak, Marvin Jones, or David Johnson in the flex. That's a tough one, Brad. I'm kind of like an especially PPR going Marvin Jones, going the wide receiver with Stafford back against a really bad Titans defense. So I'm going to go there. There's no Gesicki, I don't believe, today, Brad. So it comes down to Irv or Logan, and I'm leaning Irv. I really like Irv Smith today. Kareem Hunt for Little Monster. Kareem Hunt or Kenyon Drake. I love Drake today. Edmonds is banged up. He's going to play, but they're saying his snaps could be a little reduced. So full workhorse role for Kenyon Drake in a solid spot. Oh, yeah, all day. Drake's been rolling lately, too, so I'm all into it. No Grant Parker or Gesicki just rolled in. There we go. So, yep, as we covered earlier in the show. Thank you, Austin. Jefferson, McLaurin, Woods, Jay Cook with MT. Sit 2, full PPR for Anthony. I get the Cook appeal, but, like, come on. We're not streaming him above any of these 3 receivers. I'm sitting Cook, and I think I sit McLaurin, despite the juiciness with Haskins back, the Seahawks matchup. Woods and Jefferson are just studs, and they're both in – Jefferson's matchup's not great against the Bears. Woods gets the Jets. Like, I can't bench that, even if that game started to get blown out and Woods said – I don't know. I'm feeling Woods today. I think Woods has a touchdown. I'm going to go Woods-Jefferson. If you wanted to sit Jefferson for McLaurin because you need a little upside, a little more juice, I could see it, but I go Woods-Jefferson for these 2. What do you think of this one, CJ? Jefferson, McLaurin, Woods, Jay Cook. Not Jay Cook. We can agree on that.
Yeah, so sit one of those. Woods is locked in. He's just so consistent. And then, I go the higher ceiling Jefferson.
Yeah, Jefferson, Woods. Let's do it. Godwin or Deontay? PPR. Oof. I have a tough time, TS, trusting either right now, even though like they're both studs. Godwin gets that Atlanta matchup. Deontay, what if he gets benched because of the drops again? You're looking at my 19 and 20. I just checked it. Wide receiver 19 and 20. Neck and neck. I feel like Deontay's going to have a decent rebound game, so I lean Deontay here. What do you think of Godwin, Deontay, CJ?
Yeah, I'm going Deontay. He has the drops right now, but Godwin is just so inconsistent, especially this like disgusting pinky that he has.
Exactly. It could be AB. It could be Evans. Like if Deontay's not dropping the ball and not benched, he's seeing 10 targets. Even when he came back in the second half, he had like 5. Big Ben loves him. So against Cincy as well, like he'll put up his. I like Deontay.
Mike Clay, Gesicki, Parker, and Grant all rolled out.
So yeah, where does Lynne Bowden fall because of all that? My running back like 30, right in that like stream ability range. Wide receiver probably 36ish, right around like the Gages, that whole group. Definitely an intriguing play on DraftKings at 3,600, as Austin's saying. Stock up, yes, I agree.
Pitt Steel City. Another kicker question. Koo, your guy, or Boswell?
It's always Koo. It's always Koo. How is this a question? Always Younghoe Koo. That's the only guy in the Falcons other than Ridley I trust 100%. It's Koo.
Mike Clay, Bowden, or Wilson in the flex?
I'm going to still go Wilson. Bowden does again, especially PPR-wise, gets a nice little bump up, but I still think Wilson's going to find the end zone at least once. Could be a disaster of a play if Moser just is the feature guy, but I don't expect that. We know there's no more McKinnon at this point. Tevin Coleman, thing of the past. I think Wilson's a solid play today.
Anthony Fella, Brady or Breeze with no Mike Thomas, 6-point passing touchdowns.
I like Brady here. Atlanta matchup. Atlanta's been better since they fired Dan Quinn, but they're still a pretty solid matchup there.
Kaiser, PPR, Irv Smith, Logan Thomas, Jared Cook. I'm leaning Irv there.
Yeah, I'm leaning Cook too. I love Irv, but man, Cook. I think he's going to score a touchdown today. It's just a matter of how much receiving uptick does he have with everybody else out around him.
Jeremiah got beat up by Herbert and Waller, down big. Eckler didn't help my cause. Side two of these quarterbacks need a high ceiling here. Tannehill, Goff, Breeze.
Probably going to go Tanny and Breeze here. Bench Goff. I mean, the Jets obviously big ceiling. That's like the perfect Goff, like beat up on a weak ass opponent when we're up big. But that could also just be like bleed clock with Akers all day because they're up huge. So I think there's just not too much room for a huge day from Goff, whereas the other two could have monster efforts. So I'm going to go Tanny and Breeze here for you, Jeremiah.
Little Monster, Terry or Deontay?
I think I go Terry here. Deontay's safer, but I like Terry's upside today against Seattle with Terry back. Dwayne Haskins.
Anthony Fella, fire up Bowden. MIA has no one on offense. Yep.
It's true. It is true. Is Ahmed playing, by the way? Do we know if Ahmed ended up being active? I know all the pass catchers were out.
I'm not sure about that, actually.
Want to check that? I'll rip the next few questions, see if you can see it. Parker, Gesicki, Grant, all inactive, so a couple people need Nuke to go off today. He's in a great spot, Jeremiah. I think he really could go completely berserk. Worth firing up the Pats D. Yeah, they're not great, but I mean, I could see that being just one of the ugliest games on the slate with very few points. Maybe a turnover from Tua. I don't hate Pats D. No, I think that it depends what the.
I like him in DraftKings a lot too.
Yeah, do you know what their price is on DraftKings?
They're pretty cheap. I think unless I was playing them in one lineup. Let me see.
I have the Cowboys in, but I would much rather have.
They're on like the lower tier. Let me see.
Yeah, what their pricing is. Who was the other guy we were looking up on DraftKings earlier? I thought
Patriots only 3,000.
3,000. That's not a bad price at all for the Pats D today. There's one other like running back or something I wanted to check. I fucking who it was. Oh, Pollard. How much is Pollard? Yeah,
Pollard is.
Is he bare minimum? 52. Okay, so not.
They kind of felt that he was gonna.
Yeah. So it's still a decent play, but not like 4K. You got to smash him into your lineup type of play because Dobbins is only 700 more. Like, give me Dobbins, over him. Over Dolphins D for the Pats. No, I'd probably stick to the Dolphins there.
Mike Clay, Dobbins, Pollard, Bowden.
I like Dobbins there. Definitely Dobbins. No doubt, Mike. You're a Dobbins guy. You know the truth, Mike Clay. Stick to Dobbins here.
And then he fell as Zeke's out and he left for Pollard full PPR.
Yeah, especially full PPR. He'll catch a decent amount of passes. Running back 23, 24 range for me right now. So, yeah, I like Pollard a bit.
Austin first or Bowden or Dobbins?
No. Stick with Dobbins. How are we getting Dobbins questions? No Ingram today. He was not a factor anyways. One snap last week, but like officially cannot be a factor today. He's not in. They're going to feed Dobbins. This is the unleashing. This is the game. This is like the 150, 2-touchdown Dobbins day.
All right, we got Field Yates officially active. Matthew Stafford, Ahmed is active.
On DraftKings too. I Dobbins they smash.
Oh,
yeah, Field Yates. What? Sorry.
Officially active. Matt Stafford, Ahmed, James White, Jimmy Graham officially inactive. Elliott, Antonio Gibson, Parker, Grant, Gesicki, Ingram. So.
Gotcha. So bam, just to recap
So
everything.
Ahmed is active. Where would you feel comfortable with him?
Not really. No, I mean, they have no other options, but it's like, is it him? Is it DeAndre Washington? I'd probably rather have Ahmed than DeAndre Washington. And our Rundy, the Pats Rundy is pretty atrocious. Like Ahmed's been the guy when he's the only starter. Where do I have him in my rankings? Let's find. I got to add him first. Not add tier, add players. I'll tell you guys where I rank Salvin Ahmed now that he's officially active today. As I bump down DeAndre Washington. So I would start Lynne Bowden over either. Because again, Lynne Bowden does have running back eligibility, at least on Yahoo. I don't know if that's true on ESPN, but they gave Taysom Hill tight end eligibility. I'm guessing they're pretty flexible here. Ahmed's going to be right around Peyton Barber and Gurley at 35 is where Ahmed slots in here. And DeAndre Washington just gets a further bump down to nowhere. He could be the starter, but I'm not buying into him. So Ahmed active in a depleted Miami team. They're probably going to try to establish that run. Could be something worth.
Honestly, Tony Pollard's probably available in most leagues right now. Just fucking try to grab him as soon as possible.
Yeah, I would just keep checking for Tony Pollard is the summary there.
David Glass, standard, need a receiver and a flex out of this. Godwin, Deontay, and Gallman.
I would go Deontay's my favorite pick here, and then I'd probably roll a standard. It's trickier. I'm getting nervous about Gallman, though. I am, just because Colt McCoy at quarterback. He had 13 the last time Colt was a quarterback, but the Browns are pretty good run D. And I can't imagine this game stays very competitive very long. So I'm getting cold feet on Gallman today. I think I'm bumping Gallman down to like my 23, right around Pollard. I'd play Godwin over Gallman, I think, and just hope for a big, huge shootout game, or at least a big effort from Brady. That's where I'm leaning.
Mike Clay, Mark Ingram is inactive. Dobbins crushes. Yep. I mean, it
absolutely.
didn't really matter last week, but
it doesn't matter, but it still helps. Yes, he's going to crush either way, and that does not hurt. Elliott, yeah. So we've got a couple. Mike Clay gets the info because he's an ESPN insider, Jeremiah, of course.
CJ Johnson, half PPR, Mostert, Pollard, or Lamb.
I want to say Pollard here.
Is Pollard going to be our Mike? Is he going to be our Mike Boone this week?
Yeah, exactly. Like every year, there's like a Mike Boone. Remember, there's like a Lions running back during a live show one time. I don't even remember the dude's name, but it was like some fat running back who had 2 touchdowns the week before, and they had everyone hurt.
The white kid that there was that run.
I forget who it was. I remember one of your friends started him at the show because we're all in on him, and he had like 2 carries for 10 yards. It was horrible.
I know you're talking about.
I forget the running back for the Lions that year. It was 2 years ago. Fuck. It'll come to me like in a nightmare later tonight. I still think it's Pollard, but if you wanted to go Mostert, like Mostert versus Pollard's tricky because like Mostert we've seen do it, such a freak, and he's facing Dallas, like a horrible defense. Pollard's going to get all the volume he can handle. That doesn't mean he's going to do anything. Zeke hasn't been doing anything with all the volume. I think Pollard brings a little more juice. He's certainly in the pass game too. That's tough. I think I'm going to go Pollard. I think. Are you? What do you think?
Yeah,
CJ?
I'm going. He has the most. He's going to get the most touches out of this group. So.
Yeah, I'm going to go Pollard and hope for the touchdown. He's going to be an every down back. Got to try to ride that out.
Jefferson or Pollard?
This is where I stick to Jefferson. I get the every down back narrative here that we just wrote, but give me Jefferson. That's
we get like too many Jefferson questions.
I know. Every time we say that, we end up like they end up sucking. It's like no more Marquis Brown questions. Well, we saw that one.
But Jefferson's one of the top receivers in the league.
Yeah, he's insane.
He should be like a locked-in wide receiver too.
A lot of people are nervous at Bears.
It's like if he stinks anyways, that's what you deal with. He's one of the top receivers in the league, and it is what it is.
He's going to be fine. I think a lot of people are nervous about him this week, especially because of the Bears, because he's coming off a dud last week. He had 135 yards against the Bears earlier this year. Like he's going to be fine. It's Jefferson. He's a stud. You don't bench him at this point. Like he's too good.
First, where is the Zeke news coming out? It's weird. And life. Yeah. I don't know.
Adam Schefter called us. He let us know.
John Scollage, Newton or Breeze?
I'm going Breeze, going for the upside. I don't want Newton in my lineups ever.
I don't want Newton in the NFL anymore.
No, it's just gross. It's hideous. Yeah, could he run in for 2 touchdowns, get you 20 points? Yeah, but if he doesn't, he's horrendous.
The funniest thing is his halftime stat line every week. It's like 4 for 9 for 45 yards. It's
yeah.
Katie Jaguar just picked up Pollard to just change my flex play. My options are CEH and Gus.
It's good you picked him up and blocked your opponent. He could be a great play today. He really could. I think I'm still leaning CEH, Katie, but this makes it trickier. I prefer Pollard to Gus. And then again, Gus is going to probably run for 70 and a touchdown. These questions are tough today. I'm leaning CEH.
CEH, Pollard, Gus.
Yeah, that's how I rank them too. Could it be the complete opposite? Yes. You got to go with the gut. I go Hilaire. I ride my first round pick, and I hope he just brings me to the promised land in that big game tonight.
Another Pollard question from Connor Leahy. Pollard worth starting over Cootie, David Johnson, or Wilson?
I think so. I know earlier, Mostert versus Pollard, Wilson, they're all in the same boat for me. I think I'd go Pollard and go for the upside of them both, of him.
The fullback says Katie should be playing Gus over both of them. I don't agree with that.
I don't agree either, but I mean, I totally see the call. Big,
he weirdly has the highest floor.
Yeah, he's the safest, even if he's only playing 30 to 40% of the snaps. He's going to get his 70 rushing yards against the Jags, and he's probably going to fall into the end zone. But I go for Pollard, and I think I go CEH. Oh man, am I just getting blinded by CEH again? Why do I keep going into this guy?
He's not as bad as you think he is, just because he's not a top 5 running back this many starts. Another Pollard question, Dylan Varga.
Same exact question.
Exact same question.
So I'm going to go CEH, but again, all these guys are same tier, same type of upside. Not an easy one, folks. There's not a lock answer to that one. But yeah, I'm leaning CEH.
Varga, Pittman, Gage, or Higgins, happy here.
I like Rashad Higgins a lot. I know our guy Mitch Chavez just posted an article with us today about Rashad Higgins. He pointed out how he has 38 points in his last 2 games, more than Hopkins, more than a bunch of sick receivers. So I love it. You get the Sunday night hope. You have their top 2 corners for the Giants out. So yeah, give me Higgins tonight. I like it.
Broderick, need upside, start 2 of these. AB, Chark, Bowden, Michelle, Smith.
Not Sony Michelle if you ever need upside. I'm probably going to go AB and Chark here. I don't like Chark. I'd rather start Bowden. But Bowden's only going to do so much. He might have 8 catches, 80 yards. That's his ceiling, and that's a good, nice, ceiling. It'd be sweet to hit. He's got a decent floor. But Chark, against the no corners, every corner's banged up for the Ravens. They're going to need a chuck. If you need a ceiling, you're going to go for Chark and you're going to go for AB and just hope they go crazy.
Hillary from the living room just picked up Pollard. Should I play him, Gallman or Mostert?
From the living room, I would say this is another brutal one. I'm nervous about Pollard. I am. It seems like a good smash spot with tons of volume, but we've seen that before. I think he'll probably stay involved all game, though, because I don't think the 49ers aren't that good, so it's not like this game will ever get crazy out of hand, I don't think, with Mullins leading the charge. I think I'm going to go Pollard today. I don't know. This is tough.
I would go Pollard.
Pollard. All righty. We're going in on Pollard, baby. In the living room.
We're going to fuck this up. He's answering someone, I guess.
No, he's asking here, Stafford or Hurts. I go Hurts for sure.
Sarah Riley, need one of the flex, half PPR, Jefferson, Hilton, Sanders, Pollard, Swift. Yikes.
A lot of good options here. I think I'm still going Jefferson, the biggest stud of the group, but honestly, I think Hilton would be my next one up. The way he's been cooking lately, the Houston matchup, no Roby. I like Jefferson there.
Rodney Davis starting JT, need one more running back in standard between Mostert and David Johnson.
I go Mostert. I'm going to go with the upside against Dallas there and go with Mostert. Wolfpack, as we hit the 12:15 hour, thumbs up button would be so appreciated. We're almost at 30 likes. We typically get to 40 these last few weeks. So I know less views because less people in the semis. But if you guys liking it, sharing it, dropping in any groups you're in, help us get out to more people, answer more questions, which is why we're here. So thank you guys in advance. And if you check out rowstreetjournal.com/support2020, be an awesome way to submit a testimonial, share your kind words, and even potentially a tip if we've earned it for you this year. Thanks for considering that, and let's get back to your questions.
Campanelli, full PPR, Lockett or Dobbins?
I like Dobbins here. I do. Lockett's a beast, yeah, but Dobbins, no Ingram, Jags matchup all day. Dobbins.
Yo soy Tony, Logan Thomas, Irv Smith.
I'm an Irv Smith guy today. Love an Irv Smith. I think he could go crazy. So give me Irv Smith. Logan Thomas has been solid, but not with Haskins. So
give Mark W a defense between Baltimore and Cleveland.
Tough one because the Jags is obviously on paper a great matchup, but Minshew can bring a little more than typical quarterback. Obviously Glennon, and their secondary is completely banged up. Whereas you got like a nice matchup for Cleveland against Colt McCoy. I'm starting to rethink my Baltimore a little bit, but Minshew turns the ball over so much too. Do you have any strong leaning? This like defensive questions suck, but like
yeah, I agree. I probably go Baltimore.
Yeah, I think there's a good chance they could still score. They're going to get up so big that's going to create a script for a lot of turnovers potentially.
John Scullage, he's talking about.
Oh, that was about Breeze versus. He was answering Breeze versus Newton, and so I went Breeze, and Van Deventer agreed Breeze by a lot.
Ben Tomstick, throw Lynne Bowden into that mix too.
Not sure what that mix is because we've had a lot more questions since then. Yeah,
Moto,
let us know what that mix is.
Full PPR, Ebron, and then the more points, the longer touchdowns.
Eileen Ebron. Cincinnati, horrible against tight ends, as is Chicago for Irv, but Ebron's been getting it done pretty much all year. The drop's obviously scary, but I lean Ebron here, no-do.
Mike Ferrandez, your Wolf Standard League, Connor, Ahmed, Gus, Wilson, Bowden, Snell.
Comes down to me between Gus and Wilson. He needs two, it says here. So Gus and Wilson, pick two. Gus and Wilson. There you go.
Matt Townsend, Sony or Gurley? He's in a tough spot. I'd try to get Pollard.
Yeah, Pollard probably gone, but if not Pollard, maybe Ahmed over both these guys, honestly.
I feel like Tony's going to get a ton of touches. I mean, he wasn't – I fucking hate Tony. I hate Tony more than anyone alive, but I think his last starting gig, I think he had like 115 or something against the Raiders. It was a long time ago. But
he's looked a little bit better this year. He has.
He doesn't look like a decrepit first rounder.
Right. This is going to be an ugly game. They're going to want to control the clock. Yeah, I could see you going Sony Michel. He's right in that range.
They ran all over him week one.
Yeah.
Dolphins are banged up.
Whatever. And the Bucks like have a great run D. In their pass D starting to crumble. And I think the Falcons are going to get blown out, which just makes Gurley that much more useless. And he hasn't had a good game in 4 or 5 weeks. Like, yeah, I guess just roll the dice and hope, you get a touchdown out of Sony. And that we really try to bleed that.
He's a Patriots guy. He's kind of a homer.
Yeah, go for a homer.
Giuseppe wants to know Komet or Johnny.
I'm leaning Komet here. Detroit is actually decent against tight ends. Not that it really matters about the touchdown here. I like Komet.
Ahmed's fun. Elias, Jonathan Taylor or Monty?
I love them both, but I'm going Taylor. Taylor against Houston, like all day. I can't bench him. That he's gonna crush it. There's our guy, Mitch. What's up, brother? Good to see you. Good luck to you as well.
Matthew Stone, Mostert or Pollard?
We've gotten that one. We've gotten this one 3 times. I've said Pollard, but I totally understand going Mostert. I think I'd go for the volume. I'd go Pollard because you never know with Shanahan. He might just give Jeff Wilson 25 carries today. Mostert might just be like an emergency back, and we just would never know beforehand. Pollard, is going to get 15 touches. Whether he does anything with them remains to be seen. Do they get into the red zone? They could get shut out. I don't know. The Cowboys do kind of suck. But Pollard will catch. He'll run. Like I feel better about Pollard than your typical like plug in out of nowhere waiver wire guy. He's a good talent. Like he's a player. And if he's getting touches, I'm feeling pretty good about that. I have Pollard above Fournette. I'm coming back to Katie Jagiers about like Hilaire in a really tough matchup against New Orleans versus Pollard. But that one has me all kind of fucked up. Like, I don't know. I really think Pollard could be in a great spot. I might just still keep riding my first round pick there, but I like Pollard over Mostert. I do. I hope it doesn't blow, but I do.
Anthony Acosta, Sanders or Swift?
Big into Sanders today. I'm not going to waver on him. I didn't waver on him last week too much, and that worked out. I was really excited about the read option. It went way better than I would have ever predicted. Again, 2 100-yard rushers in one game against a defense that hadn't given up a single 100-yard rusher in over 3 years in 55 straight games. That's pretty absurd. That clearly it worked. Now, film will be out there. Can defenses, scout it out better? Sure. But the Cardinals just don't have that good of a defense either way. So I like Sanders a lot. 80, and even if the read option isn't quite as effective, the snap total, 81% of the snaps, like that was the best thing to see after it was getting closer and closer. Him and Boston Scott. Love that I saw him become the workhorse again.
John Kimball, CEH or Pollard?
The same question we were just talking about. Like, I have CEH a spot higher. That's not much help because either way, like Pollard's the bigger lock. You're going to get more touches out of Pollard. It's just a matter of you're getting the touches in the Chiefs offense. I typically like that more. It's tough though. That's a really tough question. I go CEH by a spot and it's not convincing. You CEH or Pollard? Like, what was your final answer on this one?
Yeah, I'm CEH right now. I love Pollard today, but I'm not canceling CEH yet.
Let's hope it pans out for us.
Bob Krass, choose 2, Swift, Drake, Deontay.
I think I'm going to bench Deontay here. He's so safe today. If it was full PPR, I might change my answer here. Half or standard, though, I'm going Drake and Swift. Good plays. Drake's the lock. Swift is still risky because we don't know if Stafford will hold up all game. I like Drake, though, for sure. Deontay's safer than Swift, but I think I'm going to go Swift ceiling here.
What happened to Diggs last night? It was so sketchy. But he did return. He returned to the sidelines. He kind of limped around, but I feel like he should be fantasy-wise. I'm not sure if he's going to play next week. They already have the East locked up, but
right, exactly. I was going to say, I think he's going to be fine, especially for the playoffs. But I wouldn't be shocked to see the team shut him down the rest of the year and just kind of get him healthy, package him up. Like they pretty much have, two. They're not going to lose their seeding at this point. It doesn't seem so. I could see him getting rested these last 2 weeks, Steven.
Matthew Soames, Tannehill, or Kyler?
I love Kyler today. He was running around a lot more last week, which is what I wanted to see. And now he gets a Philly defense with none of their top secondary. So I love it. Kyler's going to have a Kyler day. I'm feeling it today.
Pat Bailey from the Rockies. 2-part question. I have been cast as the villain in my league. Can I overcome the hate and win their love, or must I relish as the bad guy? And can you trust Deontay on Monday?
I think somebody thinks they're a lot more important than they actually do. Like, no one gives a shit about you, Pat. But we are all rooting for Tans against you. And there's no way you can overcome any of this hate. This is years and years in the making.
The only thing though, Tans had he's the number 1 seed in my league too. I don't want Tans winning 2 championships in the same year.
I want him winning. I mean, fuck it. Tans is an RSJ truther. He's been loyal to
That's true.
The pack. I know Pat cannot overcome, and nobody in our league will ever love you, Patrick. But you gotta just relish. You gotta embrace the heel role, like the wrestlers. You got to be the bad guy here. And I do think you can trust Deontay. I mean, Cincinnati, easy matchup. As I said yesterday, I gave you Beasley. It panned out. I'm not gonna, even though you're the villain, even though I hate you. If you come to the show, I'm not gonna give you a false answer. I think Deontay is very trustable. Could he drop the ball and then get benched for the whole game? I mean, that's a risk. But I against Cincy, it's Cincy. What did he have against them last time? Probably like 25 points.
Yeah.
I know Claypool had 17.
And it gives you the Monday hope is always fun.
And Monday hope's always nice. I honestly don't know if he's going to need it because his team is already putting up some wagon numbers against Tans. So we will see. But you're a villain. Relish the role, and I think you can trust Deontay.
Tunes went up against Waller, Jacobs, Diggs, and Melvin Gordon.
Oh, Gordon hurt too.
That late Eckler and Mike Davis shit their pants. Need upside in my flex. CH, Murray, Irv Smith, Gage, Pollard.
I guess for upside, Pollard, like CEH or Pollard's the play here. Both have upside. Both could score 2 touchdowns. I think if I'm going for just a complete Hail Mary, CEH is around more mouths, whereas Pollard could be just the complete centerpiece today. So I would go Pollard for the upside there.
Tunes, Ayuk or Thielen?
I'm going to go Ayuk. That's tough. I love Ayuk today, especially if this is the same situation. Like you need a 30-pointer. I feel like Ayuk might be the better bet for something crazy like that.
Nick Chavez, Jones started me off last night. Well, for today, get it.
Absolutely. That was a great person to have going last night. Him, Diggs, Allen. You had any of those guys? You're having yourself a nice little Saturday. Noah Fant, Melvin Gordon. Like that one hurts too. Because Melvin Gordon's like, do I even play Melvin Gordon or not? And then he comes out with 20-something on you with a last-minute touchdown. Oh, Tans was facing him too. I know Bailey had him, like the villain that he is.
Stephen X, Ayuk or Thielen again?
Same question. And I'm going to stick to Ayuk. I love it. Let me see. There's a little conversation going in here. Y'all skip my question. I don't think we missed it. We saw the fullback, Van Deventer. If we skip a question, it's never intentional. So ask it again and stop bitching. Come on, Van Deventer. You've been here a while. You know we would never intentionally skip you. Was it Zenner? No. It wasn't Zenner. I know that's a great toss-out, Brad. It wasn't him. It wasn't Zenner. It wasn't the white running back. I know you said it was a fat white running back. It wasn't him. It was like even less of a name, like Jones. It was something Jones, I want to say, like 2-3 years ago. We'll look it up at the end of the game, the show. We'll tweet it out or something. He was a nightmare, but it was not Zenner. That's a good call.
Van Deventer, Corey Davis, AB or Chark?
I'm going to lean Corey Davis. If you did ask this one, I guess we did skip it because I don't remember seeing it. I'm going to go Corey Davis against Detroit. I think it's better with Stafford on the other side. And he's had a couple duds this year, and he almost always has followed it up with a huge effort. So I like Davis today. AB would be a close second, though.
Okay, Chigir, my RB2 is Gallman. Should I play Pollard over him? I think I would.
I think so. I would probably go Pollard over Gallman. I'm nervous about what Colt McCoy and this offense is going to look like tonight. I would not be surprised to see like 0 points. Now, they're going to try to establish Gallman. That's going to be their first and foremost goal. But if Cleveland plays the way they have been, they're going to put up 30 before you know it, and you can't just keep pounding the rock at that point. So I would go Pollard over Gallman. Would you, CJ?
Yeah. I don't think it's really that favorite question, please.
Yeah. I mean, it's risky, but I know your situation, Keen. I think it's worth it. I would probably go for that one.
Dodd, Ahmed, Michelle, Cutie, Davis, Wilson, or Pollard?
I like Pollard more than these guys. Corey Davis is close. Wilson is close. I'm going to go for the bet for 15 to 20 touches. This is, man, it's a lot of people out there that probably had no idea what they were going to do. Weren't even thinking about Pollard coming into today. And to make that big last minute switch is scary. I have the butterflies in my stomach just thinking about it. Like, oh shit, like this random guy just comes into my locker room and I'm throwing him in. But fuck, like you follow the script, it looks decent. That's tough.
Lucius, pick a receiver out of this group. Metcalf, Hilton, what?
Oh, it's Metcalf. Like, it's never not Metcalf. I mean, I like this group. This is the fact that you probably have 2 receivers ahead of all these guys is like who's on your team and how many teams are in this league? But you got to play.
That might be our first ever DK question.
Yeah, exactly. Like he's one of those guys. You can't ask questions about DK because he's just always in. You never bench DK in my
opinion.
opinion.
You need a high ceiling too.
Absolutely.
Jeremiah, do I stick with Ebron at tight end or do I pick up Irv? I think we've had that question too.
Yeah, we've had that one from a few people, and I have Ebron higher. And you already have
Dalvin now. Do you want three Vikings in the same line?
You don't want 3 Vikings in the same lineup. No, I like Irv a lot today, but in your situation, I'm going to stick it with Ebron.
Shades, DJ or Mostert?
Go Mostert. I like the workhorse idea of David Johnson, but I hate how they use their running backs there, so I'm going to go Mostert.
Skevy to the levy. Need to pick 2 of these, McKissick, Pollard, Ahmed, Hines, or Gage.
Pollard's my favorite here. I would say maybe McKissick is the next, him or Hines. And I do like Gage. Ahmed, like, that one's a crapshoot. Could he be a 20-touch running back today against the Pats? Yes. But I can't trust that. I'm going to go Pollard and maybe Gage here. What do you think, CJ? I think Pollard we both agree on is the lock of these options, but
Yeah.
I mean, between Hines against Houston, great matchup, especially if that game gets crazy.
Ooh, college football playoff just announced, by the way. Alabama's 1, Clemson 2, Ohio State 3, Notre Dame 4. Gross. They're going to get their ass kicked by Alabama.
Alabama's facing Ohio State?
No, Notre Dame.
Oh, they're going to get smashed.
Out of these two, Pollard's obviously the lock, and then I kind of like Gage. Also.
Yeah, I'm feeling Gage too for a decent day. I think McKissick has the highest floor here, especially if and when they get down. But it's just a matter of does Dwayne pepper that running back quite like Smith? I don't think so. It is part of the offense. I'm going to go Pollard McKissick. CJ goes Pollard Gage. Hines is also very intriguing given that Houston matchup, but I think it's the Taylor show today. So Pollard McKissick for me, Pollard Gage for CJ.
Campanelli's down 2.5 points. He played Waller and Carlson to my Diggs and Tunyon.
He threw a good punch back at him though. Diggs is a big punch back.
All right, he's nervous with his Brady, Kamara, Drake, A-Rob, Ridley, Chubb, and Bears D. He also has Mahomes, Sanders, Robinson, A.J. Brown, Dobbins, Blankenship, and Browns D.
What is this? One team? Is this two teams? I don't know.
So the other guy I think has the Brady, Kamara, Drake.
Yeah.
But there's no question involved here, so he's just venting.
He's just venting. You can come to us and vent. Yes, I like your team though. I do like your team. This is a battle.
Sit down on the couch and talk to us.
Yeah, this is a battle. He's got a good squad. He's got a really good squad, and so do you. Like that one's going to be just a heavyweight punch fest, and I hope you're on the right side of it, my man. But yeah, good luck. That's going to be a fun one to watch. I'm intrigued to hear. Me and the Truth should be back tonight. I'd love to hear how these matchups go because you guys have some really interesting ones.
That guy having Chubb in his flex is kind of sketchy.
Thomas, he's talking about. Is there?
Trey S. Traquan Smith. Good morning, gents. Full PPR. Choose 2. Deontay, Brandon Cooks, Woods, or Swift.
I like Woods, and I think so. The Deontay Swift, we had a question pop up earlier. Swift is the ceiling. Deontay is the floor with a pretty good ceiling too. And it's full PPR, which this one clarified. I'm going to go Deontay with that one. Deontay and Woods is where I'm leaning.
Ben or Hurts?
Eileen Hurts, I do. Ben is safe, nice.
I'm going Ben. I can't. Yeah, I can't do the Hurts thing this week.
I'm all about the Hurts train, and this is where I often get hurt. But Big Ben is so safe. I just want that Hurts rushing upside. I think he's safer than you're giving him credit for, CJ, just because the rushing floor is so high. Any passing juice on addition to that. I mean, last week he threw for 57% completion and only like 160 yards, and he had 20 points. Like that's just the ultimate floor with like we could see a bigger ceiling if he starts hitting some of his receivers downfield too. I like it. I'm into the Hurts play today. I really am.
I'm sick. Corey Davis, QD, or Bowden full PPR?
I'm still going to roll Corey Davis. I'm leaning Corey Davis there.
Jair, Michelle, or Connor? 2 bums.
Maybe Connor. I don't feel good about Connor. Where do I have him in my ranks? 29. I have Sony at 34, but I look at it and I'm like, I don't know. I don't hate Sony over Connor. I think I go Connor. He faces Cincy. So if he's playing like he's and he is.
Yeah, and they feed their guy. They won't put him into a weird trap situation.
Yeah, he'll have a good bet to find the end zone. I'm going to go Connor there and hold my nose.
Will Shady have more value than DeAndre Washington? Of course.
Either. I mean, Pollard must obviously be gone if you're asking this.
Ahmed,
I would go Sonny Michel over either of these guys. He might be available for you. And if he's not, maybe Sullivan Ahmed's there. If he's not, maybe Peyton Barber's there. And if none of those guys are there, and you have to go one of these, I'll probably go for DeAndre Washington.
Yeah. Shady's going to get like 3 receptions for 20 yards, and that's it.
Yeah, exactly. Like the Falcons do give up a decent amount of receiving points. There is no Ronald Jones, so I see it, and I don't want it either way. Like I get what you're saying, and I still don't want it at all. So, no, I don't think so.
We'll start ripping these a little faster. Jair, Mostert, and McLaurin.
Oh yeah, we do have a decent amount left. So we're fine. We're fine. What time is it right now? 12:34. Yeah, we can get through these. I do want to make sure I publish my ranking. So at 12:45, I'm going to take a quick pause, and then we will definitely go rip city mode.
We'll rip through these a little bit quicker. Mostert or McLaurin?
I like McLaurin. I like the Haskins back. I like the Seattle matchup.
Allie, Degen, Sanders, or Drake? Full PPR.
Sanders for me. I love Drake today. I do. But give me Sanders. I'm all in on Sanders today.
JDS, San Fran, or Dallas?
I'd probably go San Fran there. I don't mind Dallas either, but I go San Fran.
Kev Hung, for wide receiver 2, should I bench Logan for Juju or Gage?
I would not. No, maybe Juju. Juju's close. I like Gage, but no, not in that level. I think I'm going to roll out Lockett still, but Juju, if you're feeling the bench, you want to send a message, Juju would be the play, Kev. But I go Lockett instead.
Steffi, just to be clear, you said Gage over Bowden?
Yeah, I prefer Gage over Bowden. Yeah.
HW or Gore? No, never Gore.
Yeah,
never Gore. Loves us. We love you, good.
And we love you back, full back.
Zaya, Tannehill, AJ Brown, Ridley, Ayuk, and JT in a potential blow-up spot's going to make up almost 50 points, so I have a chance.
I think so, absolutely. Like you said, all blow-up spots. Like, all of those guys could go for 30, you know? So I think you're in a great spot. Like, not a great spot, obviously. You wish your opponent didn't do as much as he did, and you wish Eckler fucking played like Eckler. I like Tannehill. I mean, I like all these guys. I think you have a chance. Not a great chance. Like, you're the underdog now, but these guys can do some work for you.
Allie, Degen, Drake, or Miles Sanders?
Miles Sanders for me.
Gear, Bo Scarborough, question mark?
What's Bo Scarborough up to? Is he like active over AP or something? Like, is there news that I didn't see? He was on the Seahawks the last I saw. Wasn't he? Where the fuck is Bo? Yeah,
he plays for Seattle. He's probably their running back 8.
Yeah, I don't know why you bring him up, though. Let us know why.
Ahmed, Bowden, Andrews, McKissick over Deontay Johnson?
No. I have well, it gets close with Andrews.
No, I'm going Deontay.
But I'm going to go Deontay over Andrews. I think Andrews could catch 2 touchdowns today, but Deontay's a great bet, especially full PPR to have 8 catches. So I like him, Austin.
Mr. Miles Sanders, Montgomery, Thielen. Pick one.
I love Sanders still. What do you think about Sanders versus Montgomery? The experts would typically recommend Montgomery in the rankings, the ECR. I have Sanders high.
Yeah, I'm feeling you. I'm going with Sanders.
Sweet. There we roll. And Wolfpack last plea here. Any thumbs up? We're right at that 30 cusp. Give us that thumbs up button, YouTube, Facebook, Periscope. And consider visiting rotostreetjournal.com/support2020 to submit a testimonial and share your kind words and potentially even a tip if you're willing to help us get this thing to the next level, baby. All righty. Back to your questions the rest of the way.
Dan DeVenter, my wide receiver 2 spots so hard every week. My roster is Kyler, Drake, Sanders, Metcalf, Davis, Dobbins, Hunt. That's Bills D.
Great roster. I mean, you guys got good rosters. That's why you're in the set.
What's the receiver 2 question?
Yeah, I don't Metcalf and I mean who? Yeah, I forget. You asked it earlier. I forget what the question was.
You've been here for like 5 years. Come on, figure it out.
Yes.
Todd Father. Good morning. Good afternoon. You sexy beast. That is all. Agreed.
You're a sexy beast, my friend Todd. Great to see you, and best of luck today. I hope you take it down.
Skev, thank you, sir.
Love the good manners.
Brad Emsrick. This was my next guest, but I wasn't sure if they were still.
Oh, he's talking about Zach Zenner.
Mark Mo, Godwin or Jefferson?
I love Jefferson today. I still roll my man Jefferson. I can't bench him.
Deventer, all my plans for him is Mahomes, Kelsey stack. That's tough, but
that's still a pretty good thing to have going for you. Mahomes and Kelsey stack.
Chavez, Winston is put on the COVID list.
Oh, too bad he can't back up Breeze today.
What's going on right now?
Godwin or Jefferson, we already answered.
Omar, hey, well for the marbles, most of Juju.
Omar, glad to hear you're still alive in the league. I know last week with Bernard that did not work out, but he smashed anyways. I like Juju here. He's been playing really well, and Mosher just has so much risk attached to him. I'm going Juju there.
Dakota, I have 2 teams. Which defense should I play? Miami, Washington, or Cleveland?
Miami and Cleveland's a question we've gotten a few times, and that's a really tough call. I like them on both. I like both their spots. I feel like Miami at home, bad Pats offense, like good defense. They're going to be a good play today. So I'm going to go Miami.
The Bo Scarborough thing was Scarborough's the guy you were thinking of for Detroit a couple of years ago.
Oh, gotcha. He's trying to fit. It wasn't Scarborough. No, that's a good guess too. Gotcha. It wasn't him. I forget who it was. I will find it, and I will. It's going to be a most obscure name of all time. I appreciate you guys trying to help me solve this mystery.
Richard R. PPR Gage or Bowden?
I go Gage. I still go Gage. I like the upside of Bowden, but I think Gage is in a good spot today.
Mark Moe, Godwin or Jefferson?
We already answered that one.
Phantom Gaming, Metcalf. Enough with the Metcalf.
Yeah, or Claypool. Come on, no, we're going Metcalf. We're going Metcalf over Claypool, who I'm a little nervous about. He's played with Claypool, not Metcalf. The snaps. He played fewer snaps than what's his name? Washington last week. Like, that's scary. That's terrifying. Oh, for Detroit. Yes, I get. Okay.
Junior, Cook or Higbee?
Cook, definitely. I like the Jets matchup for Higbee, but come on, no, it's Cook. Davis is the wide receiver 2 question. So yeah, that Davis I like at wide receiver 2.
Omar, Hines or Connor in the flex. Also Mark Andrews I can flex.
I would probably play Mark Andrews actually. I don't love the double tight end usually, but I think Andrews has 2 touchdown upside today. So I'm gonna go Mark Andrews, Omar. Let's let it rip.
Have you looked ahead to next week at all? I feel like we should have did an article on this or something, but we dropped the ball.
See, here's the deal though, is I feel like people that do this, it's like I get the gamemanship of it, but you fuck your team. Like in week 13, I stashed the Panthers going into the playoffs, and then Gibson got hurt that night. Fucking Debo got hurt the first play. Like something about the fantasy gods. Like when you get too cocky, you get a little ahead of yourself. Like I needed, I think 10 points from Gibson and Debo, and they both got hurt because I stashed the defense ahead of time. So I don't know. I have not looked that far ahead. I know like Cleveland has another good matchup against the Jets. I know the Rams are in a good spot. I think the Ravens have a good one, but a lot of those teams are probably gone. So I'm not going to let you jinx yourself, Ben. Get this win first and then worry about that.
Omar and Bernard could have scored 50 and wouldn't have mattered.
Yeah. Sounds like it was an absolute smashing. Sorry to hear it, Omar. Hope you recover well.
Good luck. CJ, you're still at it. Wolf, thank you all.
Yes. Thank you, Mitch. You're the man. We appreciate your fandom. And tuning in every time like you do. All you guys. You guys are all the best.
Hate the Man City. Now that I'm an EPL guy, I don't talk to those Man City guys. Kyle Tunes, thanks, boys. Good luck to everyone.
And do we like Baltimore or Miami?
Baltimore or Miami?
Nothing to wrap up the questions for week 15.
Oh, we got another one.
We got a couple coming in here with a fucking defensive question. I prefer Baltimore where it's the Jags. I could see Minshew doing late garbage time damage and like really screwing that pick up, but I think they'll score a defensive touchdown. I don't know. That's just my gut kind of feeling today.
Cody Hoxie, Josh Allen's big day might have saved me in both my leagues where Keenan Allen fucked me last time I ever fought for a video. He told me not to sit him.
Yep.
What an asshole that guy is, huh?
Such a douche. I think it was Barstool that called it like a criminal offense. Like it absolutely was. That sucked.
It really was.
Look into a camera, say start him, and then one catch. Fucking.
And he plays like fucking like 5 snaps.
Yeah, that was embarrassing. That was horrible. It hurt. There's not much else you could do. It's painful, and I'm sorry, Cody.
I'm glad Anthony Lynn like started Mike Williams and Keenan Allen, and they have like 4 wins in the season. It's just
useless. Just don't even play him if you're gonna do that type of shit. Fucking asshole. But yes, Wolfpack. That wraps up the questions for week 15. So best of luck in your semifinals, guys. If you want to vent or sing praises later, me and I believe the truth, we should be live tonight. I'm going to catch up with him later and make sure. But as usual, we do go live Sunday right after Red Zone, right around 7:30 or whenever it gets off the air to recap all the action, all your studs, duds. If there's anybody in the waiver wire to look forward to for your championship weeks, we will let you know. Injuries, all that stuff. We hope whether you're in your seasonal leagues, you crush DraftKings, we hope you make all the right picks. Best of luck, Wolfpack.
I have one last minute question from Gio. Bowden or Cutie?
I go Cutie still. I think I go Cutie still. So thanks again, Wolfpack. We're so pumped that you guys have been here. We got a couple last minute questions. I guess we might as well answer them. Last question, Metcalf, Thielen, Godwin, or Hilton. It's got to be Metcalf. You got to need 2, though. So Metcalf and Thielen. You're going to go with your studs there. My man, you face Josh Allen. That's not good. You're on the ropes, but best of luck. Today might fall off the wagon if it goes south. We can have some drinks together later tonight. Omar, if need be. Akers, Sanders, or Ayuk. Sit one. That's tough. I probably sit Ayuk of that one. As much as I love him. It'd be Sanders. I'm just rolling. If it's full PPR, I might keep Ayuk in with Sanders and bench Akers. if it's half or standard, I probably bench Ayuk. This is really, I don't know how you can get all three of these guys, and I love them all.
Text question: Pollard or Corey Davis? Full PPR.
Probably Pollard. I think I go Pollard there. That's tough, though. Alrighty, Wolfpack. Best of luck today. Get those Week 15 dubs. Join us later and let us know how everything goes throughout your Sunday. I'm the Wolf, and that's CJ, and we are out.